Hey everyone, so you know that feeling when you walk into a room and realize you're in way over your head? Yeah, that's exactly what went down in the Umbrella Academy Season 4, Episode 2, Gene and Jean. If you thought things were wild before, buckle up because this episode cranks the chaos up to 11. But before we jump into the madness, if you're new here or just love talking all things the Umbrella Academy, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I mean, you don't want to miss out on this roller coaster of a season, right? Okay, let's get into it. So, picture this. Luther waking up after what can only be described as a teppanyaki-induced haze. And when I say haze, I mean he's not just hungover. He's back in his full superpowered glory, but with a serious case of what just happened. It's one of those moments where you're like, did I really do that last night? But instead of regretting a bad text, Luther's coming to terms with a family reunion that was anything but ordinary. And just when you think he's got a moment to breathe, he's shoved onto the stage as Space Boy, and let's just say he's not exactly feeling the applause. But hey, we've all had those days where we'd rather be anywhere else, am I right? Now let's talk about Five. This guy is usually as tough as nails, but suddenly he's hit with a mystery illness. And it's not just your run-of-the-mill cold. This is Five we're talking about. The fact that he's down for the count is our first major clue that something is seriously off. It's like when your friend who never gets sick suddenly cancels plans because they're too ill to move. Yeah, you start to worry. As the episode unfolds, we see the siblings grappling with their newly restored powers. But here's the twist. They're feeling nauseous and out of sorts. Imagine getting your superpowers back and then realizing they come with a killer case of the flu. Klaus, being the wild card that he is, decides to stay clean and skips the marigold, opting out of the powers. This decision is huge for him because, let's be honest, Klaus has been through the ringer with his powers in the past. Now, the moral debate really kicks off when Ben admits he spiked everyone's drinks with marigold. Yeah, you heard that right. He didn't just restore their powers, he did it without asking. Talk about a breach of trust. The siblings are torn. Some are relieved to have their abilities back, while others are furious at Ben for making such a life-altering decision without their consent. It's like when your friend makes a major decision for the group without consulting anyone and you're left thinking, wait, what? All right, let's shift gears and talk about the road trip to New Grumpson, Maine. I mean, who doesn't love a good road trip, right? But this isn't your typical family vacation. The crew is on a mission to find Jennifer, but as they roll into town, things start to feel a little off. Five, ever the paranoid one, notices a man dressed as an elf who just won't stop staring at them. And when Five's on edge, you know something's about to go down, and boy, does it go down. The entire town turns out to be a trap with undercover agents posing as regular folks. The siblings are ambushed, and it's pure chaos. This scene is an absolute adrenaline rush, like walking into a party you weren't invited to, and suddenly everyone's throwing punches. The Hargreaves are forced to fight back using their glitchy powers, and the tension is through the roof. But here's where it gets even crazier. In the middle of all this chaos, Five stumbles upon a subway station filled with strange symbols. And if you're thinking, wait, is this connected to time travel? You're absolutely right. Five hops on one of the trains and ends up in the same place but in a different timeline. Talk about a mind-bender. This discovery is key because it ties into the show's overarching theme of alternate realities and the consequences of messing with time. While Five is off navigating timelines, Ben is having a bizarre encounter of his own. He heads into a cafe, completely disinterested in the mission, and meets Rosie, who we later find out is actually Jennifer. This is one of those classic Umbrella Academy twists where nothing is as it seems. Ben's awkward encounter quickly escalates when another woman, pretending to be Jennifer, shows up and tries to deceive Klaus. The tension between these characters builds as the truth slowly unravels. And then, just when you think you've got a handle on the situation, bam! The imposter shoots Klaus. Yeah, she literally pulls out a gun and shoots him right there. Klaus goes down, and the stakes skyrocket. The siblings are left scrambling, and they realize they have no choice but to use the marigold to save Klaus's life. It's a powerful moment because it forces Klaus back into the very world he's been trying to escape. His powers. At this point, the episode is firing on all cylinders. You've got action, drama, and the introduction of two new mysterious characters, Dr. Jean and Jean Thibodeau. These two show up just in time to kidnap Jennifer, leaving the Hargreaves siblings in a dire situation. It's like a game of chess, and the siblings just lost their queen. You can feel the tension as they're left wondering who these people are and what they really want. Okay, quick break. If you're still with me and loving this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button. It really helps the channel, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on Jean and Jean in the comments below. Are they friend or foe? Let me know what you think. Now let's get back to it. The siblings are barely hanging on by this point. They're outnumbered, outgunned, and honestly, things aren't looking good. But this is the Umbrella Academy, and just when you think all hope is lost, they find a way to turn things around. Kind of. The episode keeps you on the edge of your seat as the siblings struggle to fend off the townspeople's relentless attacks. The action is intense, and the stakes are higher than ever. Five's realization about the timeline issues adds another layer to the plot. He's always been the one to figure things out first, and this discovery is no exception. The timeline is messed up, and they're smack in the middle of it. This revelation not only raises the stakes, but also ties back to the broader themes of time travel and alternate realities that have been central to the series from the beginning. Diego's subplot adds a nice emotional touch to the episode. He confides in Five about his suspicion that Lila is cheating on him, which gives us a deeper look into Diego's insecurities. It's a rare moment of vulnerability for Diego, and it adds depth to his character. Plus, it's a great setup for potential drama down the line. Because let's face it, this is the Umbrella Academy, and things are never simple. Speaking of drama, Victor and Allison's strained relationship takes center stage in a few scenes. Victor's declaration that they're not friends is like a gut punch, especially considering everything they've been through together. This tension is a ticking time bomb, and you just know it's going to explode in a future episode. Meanwhile, Luther's reflections on Sloane provide a poignant contrast to all the chaos. His quiet moments of grief and longing remind us of the personal losses each sibling has endured. It's a bittersweet moment that adds emotional weight to the episode and gives us a glimpse of Luther's inner world. All right, folks, let's talk about the big mystery, Jennifer. Why do the Hargreaves think Cy Grossman is her father? And more importantly, why doesn't Jennifer seem to know what they're talking about? This cliffhanger is one of those classic Umbrella Academy moments where the more you learn, the less you understand. It's a tantalizing setup for the next episode, leaving us all guessing about Jennifer's true significance in the story. And then there's the final blow, the van attack. Just when you think the siblings might catch a break, they're hit with a brutal attack that leaves them barely conscious. It's a gut-wrenching moment that reminds us of just how dangerous their world is. The van rolling over feels like a metaphor for the siblings' lives, constantly being flipped upside down, no matter how hard they try to stay on course. So, what's next for the Hargreaves? Well, with Jennifer kidnapped and the introduction of Jean and Jean, it's clear that the stakes are only going to get higher from here. We're in for a wild ride, and I, for one, cannot wait to see where this season takes us. Before I wrap things up, let me ask you guys, what do you think about this season so far? Are you loving the darker tone? Or do you miss the lighter, more humorous vibe of earlier seasons? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's chat about it. And of course, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more Umbrella Academy content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any updates. Now, where were we? Ah yes, the aftermath of that brutal van attack. The Hargreaves siblings are down, but definitely not out. This is where the Umbrella Academy truly shines. When everything seems lost, these characters find a way to dig deep and fight back, even if it means crawling out of the wreckage with nothing but sheer willpower. And if that doesn't make you want to root for them, I don't know what will. As the siblings regroup, the tension between them is palpable. They've been through hell together, but this episode really hammers home the idea that they're still very much individuals with their own struggles and baggage. Take Victor and Allison, for example. Their strained relationship is one of those slow-burn tensions that you know is going to explode in a spectacular way. Victor's blunt statement that they're not friends anymore is a real heartbreaker, especially when you think about everything they've survived together. It's one of those moments that makes you go, ouch, that's going to leave a mark. But let's talk about the big mystery at hand. What exactly is going on with Jennifer? Why do the Hargreaves think Cy Grossman is her father? And why is she so adamant that she's not who they think she is? This twisty plotline is classic Umbrella Academy. Just when you think you've figured something out, the show pulls the rug out from under you, and honestly, I'm here for it. The ambiguity surrounding Jennifer adds a layer of intrigue that keeps you glued to the screen, trying to piece together the puzzle along with the characters. Speaking of puzzles, Five's discovery of the messed up timeline is another major plot point that has me super excited for what's to come. We all know that time travel is Five's bread and butter, but even he's stumped by the weirdness he's encountering. It's like when you're trying to solve a problem that you've tackled a million times before, but suddenly nothing makes sense anymore. This timeline dilemma is setting the stage for some seriously mind-bending twists, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Meanwhile, Luther's grief over Sloane continues to simmer beneath the surface. Even in the midst of all the chaos, we see these quiet moments where Luther reflects on what he's lost. It's a stark reminder that, despite their powers and their mission, the Hargreaves are still very human. They feel pain, they grieve, and they struggle with the same emotional turmoil as the rest of us. Luther's longing for Sloane is one of those storylines that really grounds the show in reality, despite all the fantastical elements at play. And can we just take a moment to appreciate Klaus in this episode? He's been shot, revived, and now he's grappling with the realization that his powers, something he's tried so hard to escape, are the only thing keeping him alive. Klaus has always been the comedic relief in the series, but this episode adds a layer of depth to his character that we don't always get to see. His struggle with addiction, his fear of his powers, and his deep-seated need for acceptance all come to a head here, and it's both heartbreaking and inspiring to watch. Now let's not forget about the introduction of Dr. Jean and Jean Thibodeau. These two mysterious characters swoop in, kidnap Jennifer, and leave us with a million questions. Who are they, really? What do they want with Jennifer? And more importantly, how are they connected to the bigger picture? The Thibodeaus are shrouded in mystery, and their appearance marks a significant turning point in the episode. It's like when you're reading a mystery novel and suddenly a new character is introduced who changes everything. You know they're important, but you have no idea why, yet. As the episode races towards its climax, the siblings are forced to make some tough decisions. They're battered, bruised, and barely holding on, but giving up isn't in their DNA. We see them rally together, despite their differences, to try and rescue Jennifer and figure out what the hell is going on in this crazy town. The stakes are sky high, and the tension is almost unbearable. But that's exactly what makes the Umbrella Academy so damn addictive. The episode ends on a massive cliffhanger with the Hargreaves siblings back in the van, barely escaping with their lives. But instead of relief, there's this overwhelming sense of dread. They've survived, sure, but at what cost? Jennifer's gone, the Thibodeaus are still at large, and the timeline is more messed up than ever. It's the kind of ending that makes you sit back and go, wait, what just happened? And if that doesn't make you want to hit next episode immediately, I don't know what will. All right, before we wrap things up, I've got to know, what do you guys think about Dr. Jean and Jean Thibodeau? Are they the real villains of this season, or is there something else at play here? I've got my theories, but I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get a conversation going. And as always, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more deep dives into the Umbrella Academy, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. We've got a lot more to discuss, and I'd hate for you to miss out. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and until next time, keep binging, keep theorizing, and I'll see you in the next one.